I paid for a luxury 1-week trip to Europe and planned to go with my parents, but when I picked them up for the airport, they stepped out with their bags and said, "We're taking your sister instead. She deserves a break more than you." I simply nodded and let them leave. When their plane landed in Europe, everything changed. The dashboard clock glowed 6:02 a.m., its green digits accusing me as I pulled into my parents' driveway. 2 minutes late. My mother stepped onto the porch, her suitcase wheels grinding against the wood, her face a mix of impatience and forced cheer. I forced a smile, stepping out of the car to help with her luggage, the crisp morning air biting at my fingertips. Then I saw her, Lauren, my sister, emerging from the house with her own suitcase, her blonde hair catching the porch light like a halo she didn't deserve. My smile froze, a brittle mask. "What's going on?" I asked, my voice a tightrope stretched over a pit of dread. My mother's eyes sparkled with that infuriating optimism she wielded like a weapon. "Oh, Violet, we decided Lauren should come instead. She's been so stressed, and she needs this trip." My chest constricted, a vice squeezing my ribs. "Instead of me?" The words echoed in my skull, each syllable a needle. I'd spent 2 years planning this. Flights, luxury hotels, guided tours through Paris's cobblestone streets. Every overtime shift, every skipped coffee, every penny saved for a trip to give my parents something unforgettable. And now Lauren, always Lauren, was stealing it. "Mom, I've been planning this for years. I paid for everything," I said, my voice trembling like a leaf in a storm. She waved her hand, dismissing my life's work as if it were a minor inconvenience. "We're grateful, sweetheart, but you're always working so hard. You can take another trip later. Lauren needs this now." Lauren, leaning against her suitcase, smirked, her lips curling with a smugness that made my blood boil. "Thanks for understanding, sis," she said, her tone dripping with fake gratitude like syrup too sweet to stomach. My father shuffled out, avoiding my gaze as he handed me his suitcase. The weight of it felt like betrayal. "This is unbelievable," I said, my voice shaking with the effort to hold back a scream. "This was supposed to be our trip." My mother's smile didn't waver. "It still is, just with Lauren." "Don't make this a big deal, Violet." My name is Violet, and in that moment, standing in the gray dawn, I realized a truth I'd dodged for years. No matter how much I gave, Lauren would always come first. I clenched my jaw, swallowing the sharp retort burning my tongue. Instead, I forced a tight smile, the kind that hurts your face, and opened the trunk. "Let's get going then," I said, my voice flat as the asphalt beneath my feet. If they wanted to prioritize her, fine, but they wouldn't enjoy it. Not on my dime. The drive to the airport was a suffocating silence, broken only by Lauren's chatter, her voice like nails on a chalkboard. "Oh my gosh, Mom, did you see that TikTok about Paris? I can't wait to go shopping." My hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles ached, the leather creaking under my fingers. I stared at the road, the yellow lines blurring as I fought to keep my anger caged. My mother chuckled, her voice warm and indulgent. "Of course, we'll have time. We'll figure it out when we get there." "We." The word stung, excluding me as if I'd never existed. My father cleared his throat, his reflection in the rearview mirror uncomfortable. "Thank you for driving us, Violet. I know this probably feels unusual." I glanced at him, my eyes narrowing. "Unusual? That's an interesting way to put it, Dad." He shifted, regretting his words, and fell silent. Lauren leaned forward, her perfume cloying. "You're not mad, right? I mean, this is really big of you, letting me go. I could never have afforded this." I forced another smile, my jaw aching. "Of course, Lauren. Enjoy the trip." At the airport, I unloaded their luggage, the weight of each bag a reminder of my sacrifice. My mother hugged me, her embrace too tight, too performative. "Thank you for understanding, sweetheart. This means a lot to us, and to Lauren." I nodded stiffly, my throat tight with unshed tears. Lauren beamed, wheeling her suitcase toward the terminal. "Thanks, Violet. You're the best." I watched them disappear into the crowd, my chest a furnace of anger and hurt, the hum of the airport fading into a dull roar. The drive home was a blur, the road stretching endlessly before me. Their words replayed in my head, each one a knife. "This means a lot to Lauren. You're not mad, right? You're always working so hard." I parked in my driveway and sat there, gripping the steering wheel until my hands cramped. The silence was deafening, but it gave me clarity. I marched inside, the hardwood floor cold under my feet, and opened my laptop. My fingers flew over the keys, fueled by a fire. I hadn't known I possessed. Hotel reservations? Canceled. Tours? Refunded. Airline upgrades? Gone. As confirmation emails flooded my inbox, the tightness in my chest began to ease. They wanted Lauren? Fine. They could explain themselves to the hotel staff in Paris. I was done being their doormat. Their calls started the moment their flight landed, my phone buzzing like an angry hornet. I ignored it, unpacking the suitcase I'd prepared for a trip that wasn't mine anymore. The irony stung as I hung my dresses, their fabric soft against my fingers, and placed my shoes neatly on the shelf. The buzzing continued, relentless, filling my small apartment with its accusation. I sighed, picking up the phone. My mother's name flashed across the screen, alongside missed calls and texts. Violet, what's going on? The hotel won't let us check in. Call me immediately. This isn't funny. Fix this now. A laugh escaped me, sharp and bitter. Fix it? They thought I'd swoop in like always, the dutiful daughter cleaning up their mess. Lauren's voicemail came next, her voice dripping with entitlement. Violet, this is so petty. We're stuck here because of you. Fix it now. I deleted it mid-sentence, my pulse racing with defiance. For years, I'd been their fixer, solving problems, smoothing edges, sacrificing my own needs. Not anymore. I answered my mother's next call, her voice a tidal wave of anger. Violet, what did you do? The hotel says the reservation was canceled and none of the tours are booked. I let her rant, her words washing over me like a storm I'd already weathered. I canceled them, I said calmly, my voice steady as granite. Silence stretched across the line, thick and stunned. Why would you do that? She hissed. I leaned back, a smirk tugging at my lips. Maybe because you took Lauren on my trip. You're lucky I drove you to the airport. We thought you'd understand, she snapped. Understand what? I shot back, my voice rising. That my years of saving didn't matter because Lauren needed a break? That my hard work meant nothing? I hung up before she could respond, tossing my phone onto the couch. The silence that followed was bliss, a weight lifting from my shoulders. For the first time I could breathe. The next day, their messages continued, a barrage of guilt and blame. My mother. Violet, you've gone too far. Your sister is in tears. Lauren. You're acting like a child, just fix it. My father. We need to talk. This isn't right. I ignored them, cleaning my apartment with a vigor I hadn't felt in years, the scent of lemon polish filling the air. By evening, curiosity won. I answered another call from my mother. This isn't funny, she barked. We're stranded. Do you know how embarrassing this is? I sipped my tea, the warmth grounding me. Embarrassing? Try saving for years, planning every detail, and being told you're not part of the trip you paid for. Stop being dramatic, she snapped. Lauren needed this more than you. I laughed, the sound cold. And now she can figure it out. You made your choice, Mom. Don't expect me to fund her vacation. Lauren's voice whined in the background. Just hang up. She's impossible. That was it. Enjoy your trip, I said, my tone icy. Oh, wait, you can't. It was mine. Goodbye. I turned off my phone, the silence a balm to my frayed nerves. For days, I reveled in the quiet, my phone off, their guilt trips silenced. I sipped coffee on my porch, the morning air cool against my skin, and worked on projects I'd neglected. The freedom was intoxicating. No demands, no expectations. But by the third day, curiosity crept in. I turned on my phone to find voicemails, my mother's hysterics, Lauren's entitlement, my father's quiet disappointment. The final one from my mother was quieter, exhausted. We're back at the airport. The trip is ruined. I hope you're happy. Call us when you're ready. I deleted them all, my heart steady. This wasn't a one-time betrayal. It was years of being overlooked, my efforts dismissed. I was done. Grace, my friend, stopped by unannounced, her dark eyes gleaming with curiosity as she set 2 coffees on my table. Your mom called me, she said. I sighed, the steam from the coffee curling between us. Of course she did. Grace grinned. I told her you'd get back to her when you're ready. You're the best, Violet, for finally standing up for yourself. Her words sank deep, a lifeline in the storm. She was right. I'd spent too long bending for people who didn't care. When my parents and Lauren returned, I was waiting at their house, sipping coffee on the porch swing, the wood creaking beneath me. Their taxi pulled up, their faces etched with exhaustion and irritation. Lauren spoke first, her voice sharp. I hope you're happy, Violet. I raised an eyebrow, staying seated. Happy about what? my mother snapped. Our trip was a disaster. Dingy hotels, terrible food, no tours. You set us up to fail. I stood, setting my mug down, the ceramic clinking against the table. No, Mom, I planned a trip for us. You cut me out. You set yourselves up. My father's voice was quiet but accusatory. You didn't have to cancel everything, Violet. That was extreme. I folded my arms. Why should I pay for a trip I wasn't invited to? If Lauren needed it so badly, you should have planned it yourselves. Lauren rolled her eyes. It's just money, Violet. My patience snapped. And you're so entitled. Do you know how much sacrifice went into that trip? Or do you think things just appear for you? They stood silent, stunned. I'm done being the fixer, I said, grabbing my bag. You chose Lauren. Fine. But you don't get my hard work without me. I walked to my car, their voices fading behind me, a mix of anger and guilt I refused to carry. Weeks later, I booked a solo trip to Italy, not to prove a point, but to reclaim myself. In Rome, I wandered cobblestone streets, the scent of espresso and ancient stone filling my senses. On the Spanish steps, gelato dripping down my fingers, I wrote in my journal, not about pleasing others, but about my dreams. Learning Italian, starting a business, traveling more. In Florence, over dinner by the Arno River, the sunset painting the sky in fiery hues, I realized I didn't need my family's approval. I was enough. When my parents reached out again, their tone softer, I answered. My mother admitted they'd handled things poorly, but I wasn't ready to forgive. This wasn't just the trip, I said. It's years of putting Lauren first. I'm done. She promised change, but I kept my boundaries firm, focusing on my life, photography classes, hiking, planning my next adventure. One evening on my porch, the sunset glowing gold, I felt free. For the first time, I was Violet. Not the fixer, not the afterthought, but me,